He's worth over $11 billion. He's created game-changing businesses like PayPal, Tesla Motors, and SpaceX. He's the closest thing we have to real-life Iron Man.
He's the guy who seems to just have arrived from another planet to casually disrupt the world, one industry at a time. Many see him as one of the great industrial minds of the 21st century, the engineer's engineer. Even if you haven't heard of him, chances are you've still seen his influence. So who is Elon Musk really? How did he achieve all of these things? And what's the story behind him? In this video, we'll find out. Let's get straight into it. Elon Musk was born in South Africa in 1971. His mother was a model and his father was an engineer. He was the oldest of 3 kids and started primary school a year early. As a kid, Elon was a bit of an outsider and loved to read, but got picked on for being smart. Unlike his brother and sister, Elon didn't have a great social life, but didn't mind spending time reading comics instead. Despite being an outsider, it was clear early on that he was a smart kid. At age 12, in 1983, Musk just taught himself computer programming and created a video game called Blastar, which he sold for $500. In 1989, a 17-year-old Musk moved from South Africa to Canada. Eventually, he would move to America and attend college at the University of Pennsylvania. After graduating, Musk moved to California and began graduate studies in physics at Stanford University. His main interest was space exploration. But the thing was, right at this time, the world was going through a revolutionary shift. The internet boom was reaching full swing. After just 2 days, Elon would leave Stanford and take advantage of the boom. This decision would alter the course of his life and ultimately change the world. After dropping out of grad school, Musk quickly established his first company, Zip2, which provided online newspapers with maps and business directories. He sold the company in 1999 to Compaq for $307 million. Elon himself netted $22 million out of the sale. In 1999, he founded X.com, an online payment company that eventually became PayPal. It was acquired by eBay for $1.5 billion in stock, of which $180 million was given to Musk. PayPal fundamentally changed the way people transferred money to one another and also how they bought and sold things. For some context, at the time, it was still common for people to mail checks to each other, a very slow and archaic process taking weeks to complete a single transaction.
There weren't very many people on the internet, and certainly nobody was making any money at all. Most people thought the internet was going to be a fad. I think X.com could absolutely be a multi-billion-dollar bonanza, because if you look at the industry that X is pursuing, it's the biggest sector of the world economy.
When he looked at PayPal, his goal was not to create a place you could do person-to-person payments. His goal was to transform the financial industry.
We're able to become the leading payment system in the world, and then eBay finally threw in the towel and acquired PayPal in early 2002.
PayPal, powered by Braintree and One Touch, has really given the merchants the ability to allow their customers to check out really quickly. And integrating it with WooCommerce is really easy for them. Merchants can focus on what they do best and sell their product. And developers can customize their store without having to worry that anything will break on the payment side.
In 2002, he founded Space Exploration Technologies, otherwise known as SpaceX. SpaceX is a company that creates and manufactures vehicles, primarily rocket technology. The aim? To reduce the cost of spaceflight in hopes of expanding human life beyond Earth. Doing such an ambitious project required a great deal of money. Musk initially found it impossible to get funding for SpaceX, which many investors saw as a pipe dream. Going against traditional business practices, Musk channeled all his money into the company to make it a reality. And a reality it became. SpaceX currently has a $1.6 billion contract with NASA to resupply and eventually ferry people to the International Space Station. After SpaceX, in 2004, Musk would help fund Tesla. The first Tesla car, the Tesla Roadster, was the first electric vehicle to break the public's conceptual mold of an electric car. After this came the Model S, of which the fastest models can do 0 to 60 miles an hour in 2.8 seconds. In 2013, Elon introduced his latest endeavor, the Hyperloop. It's a form of transportation that theoretically could send people from San Francisco to Los Angeles in half an hour by the way of pressurized tubes. Of course, it's not a new idea, but Musk has overseen a competition to build the transport system to advance the technology. Elon is also one of the major driving forces behind Solar City, a company founded by one of his cousins. Under the guise of Tesla, he recently bid to buy the company. Musk has also released the Powerwall, a simple battery pack designed to power the home off the grid. Despite his enormous recent success, it hasn't all been smooth sailing. Both his flagship companies, SpaceX and Tesla Motors, came alarmingly close to failing. Alright, so let's move on to a few facts about Elon Musk. Musk was named one of the 75 most influential people of the 21st century by Esquire magazine. In 2013, Elon was named Fortune's Business Person of the Year for SpaceX, Solar City, and Tesla Motors. Musk's official annual salary for Tesla Motors is just $1. Elon has signed the Giving Pledge, in which pledges promise to donate the majority of their wealth to philanthropic efforts. So now that you've seen all that he's achieved, it's clear that there must be some special philosophies and successful traits that Elon possesses. What are they, and what can we learn from him? Let's take a look.
When you first start a company, there's lots of optimism and things are great. And then, so happiness at first is high. Then you encounter all sorts of issues, and happiness will steadily decline. And then you'll go through a whole world of hurt. And then eventually, if you succeed, and in most cases you will not succeed. And Tesla almost didn't succeed, came very close to failure. Then if you succeed, then after a long time, you will finally get back to happiness.
I think wishful thinking is innate in the human brain. You want things to be the way you wish them to be, and so you tend to filter information that you shouldn't filter. That's the most common flaw that I see. There's no need even to have a college degree at all, or even high school. I mean, if somebody graduated from a great university, that may be an indication that they will be capable of great things, but it's not necessarily the case. You know, if you look at, say, people like Bill Gates or Larry Ellison, Steve Jobs, these guys didn't graduate from college. But if you had a chance to hire them, of course, that would be a good idea. So, you know, just looking just for evidence of exceptional ability. And if there's a track record of exceptional achievement, then it's likely that that will continue into the future. If other people are putting in 40-hour work weeks and you're putting in 100-hour work weeks, then even if you're doing the same thing, you know that in 1 year you will achieve what they achieve. You will achieve in 4 months what it takes them a year to achieve. Whatever area that you get into, given that, you know, even if you're the best, there's always a chance of failure. So I think it's important that you really like whatever you're doing. If you don't like it, life is too short. If you like what you're doing, you think about it even when you're not working. It's something that your mind is drawn to. And if you don't like it, you just really can't make it work, I think.
Although I have to say that in the space business is quite hard to start a company in the space business because it's such a capital-intensive business. So it may be better to do something in solar power, or if you're going to do it in cars, do it as kind of a component supplier for cars or something like that.
So essentially, you don't need a degree to be something, never give up, love what you do, and work hard.
You know, there are American heroes who don't like this idea. Neil Armstrong, Gene Cernan have both testified against commercial spaceflight and the way that you're developing it, and I wonder what you think of that.
I was very sad to see that, because those guys are, those guys are heroes of mine, so it's really tough. I wish they would come and visit and see the hardware that we're doing here. And I think that would change their mind.
They inspired you to do this, didn't they?
Yes.
And to see them casting stones in your direction.
It's difficult.